Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world and our country, but how we're going to fix both of them together. And the content that I'm going to show you right now is the most recent iteration of CNN throwing ice cold bucket of hell water right all over the Kamala Harris hopefuls because, oh my goodness, Trump's winning independence. Where have we heard that before? Oh, yeah, that's right. We talked about it for weeks now. Guys, the trail to freedom is not through the mainstream media because they tell you 3 and 4 weeks after what we talk about on this channel. Everything I'm about to show you is linked into the description box below. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. Of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on if you love that freedom from coast to coast and border to border, and thank you in advance for that consideration. And guys, one thing I want to talk to you about really quickly, and speaking of consideration, is are you fully prepared if you live in a blue state for, I don't know, gun control, red flag laws, charging you for a crime if you defend yourself, duty to retreat, all of these buzzwords that are from blue states? That's why USCCA exists. They're there to have your back should the worst case scenario happen, and also if some overzealous neighbor calls on you and says you have a tendency to be a meanie pants and now you can't have your gun rights without due process, USCCA is there for you in that case. Guys, that's one of the main reasons that I've jumped so heavily behind USCCA, because it addresses one of the main infringements upon our gun rights. There's a link in the description box below. Please just check it out. The least you can do for yourself is be aware of your options, and that's why it's right down there. So make sure you check it out in the description box below. And now let's get to CNN, because you guys know how I love me some Harry Enton, especially when he is nuking Democratic gun-controlling liberal Kamala Harris campaigners' dreams. Listen to this. This is that stuff right here, people.
Center of the electorate, you go last time around, Joe Biden won these voters by 11 points. You look at September of 2024, a month ago, Kamala Harris was up 5 points among independents.
No.
You look now, though, look at this. She's only up by 2 points among a key block center of the electorate, down 9 points from Biden was at the end of the 2020 campaign. Of course, this is a national picture. This is a national picture. What is
Okay, hold on. Before he goes to the next part, you have to understand what you're looking at right now. This is not just one little data point and it's cute and cool and fun. I'm not going to sit here and tell you Trump's going to win because of this data point. By the way, none of this happens. Nothing happens unless you vote. Your family votes, your friends vote, your everyone you know votes. I'm not suggesting the outcome is one way or the other, but I know for dang sure it can't happen in a positive unless you take positive action. Anyway, now that we said that, do you understand why we do these things? Like with CNN's and Harry Enton, with all the different polling that comes out. The polling at the end of the day doesn't really represent what's going to happen. The polling shows you trends. Kamala Harris is at the lowest representation in the polling in the data aggregates in young black males, 18 to I think it was 39, historically ever. Young female African American, same thing. Latino, same thing. Union worker, same thing. It's all unprecedented losses all over the place. And yet, all of a sudden, it's a big shock that now add independents to that, especially when you compare it to Biden, who was at 11 and she's at a 2. The point that I'm trying to show you with these things is there is a downward trend across all of her core constituencies and demographics. Let's keep going.
Going on in those key battleground states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin,
Whoops.
the Great Lakes, that blue wall, right? Joe Biden last time around won him by 5 points over Donald Trump. Look at where we are today. This is the type of movement Donald Trump likes to see in the center of the electorate, up by a point. Now, of course, that's well within any margin of error, right? But again, it's the movement. It's the trends, Mr. Berman, that we're looking at. And when you flip a group from going +5 Biden to now +1 Trump, that's the type of movement Donald Trump loves to see. And it's the type of movement that I think gives Democrats some agita. You saw.
All right. And this is why we cover this stuff. We cover gun world stuff. We cover 2A stuff. We also cover politics general. And the reason that we do that is because they're not isolated in vacuum situations. They're all tied together. What you're looking at right here, just like we've seen in the 2A world, there is a blending and a abandonment of well-known Democratic candidate policies and well-known Democratic norms on gun control against very core constituencies in the Democratic Party. It's not the other way around. Now, when you look at this, again, what did I just show you with Joe Biden at 11 with independents and Harris at 2? Guys, it's a trend downward. When you put Trump into the mix, the trend continues. +5 in independents for Biden in the swing states in the blue wall, and now +1. Are you seeing the trend that is basically going through every single vein of the election. That's why we cover this stuff, so you guys can see what's on the ground, what no one else is telling you, particularly in the gun world. But that's what this is so important, because when this happens, again, if you vote, you're talking about setting the table to completely send your gun rights in a positive direction, as well as your First Amendment rights, as well as back off the executive bureaucratic state. There are so many things that this can translate to, which is why we cover it. Let's keep going, Harry. What else you got for us?
Nationally, you see it in the blue wall states there. What do we know about candidates who have won or lost independence in the past?
Yeah, are independents determinative of who wins the election? Usually the way independents go, so goes the nation. So candidates who won independence in elections since 1952, look at this. Won independence, won the election 15, lost the election despite winning independence just 3. So it is possible to lose independence and win the election, but the bottom line is that's only happened 3 times. It was Nixon in 68, it was Ford in 76, and it was Kerry in 2004. Normally when you win independence, John, it's a very good sign for your chances to win the election.
Do we have any sense among...
Yeah, shut up, John. All right. You understand what he's telling you right there? You win independence, the odds are greatly in your favor you're going to win the election. We've been saying that on this channel for 2 years now. When you look at the core constituencies, when you look at the voting breakdowns, when you look at everything that is showing as a data point, not the polling, but the overall trends, you are looking at a significant advantage to Trump. Again, only possible if you vote. If you don't vote, it falls apart. It doesn't happen. But what you're seeing right there, with the election being won 15 times, with the only exception of 3 times when you win independence, and Trump is winning independence in the blue wall states, which drive the electoral college victory. Again, I'm not Nostradamus, but everything's pointing in a certain direction. All right, let's keep going though, because there's even more.
The people who are identifying as independents now, what they're saying or how they're feeling or why we're seeing this?
Yeah, why are we seeing this movement in the electorate, perhaps away from the Democrats towards Donald Trump? And this is true overall. This is true among independents as well. View is too liberal, right? Are you out of the mainstream, perhaps? 38% said that of Joe Biden back in 2020. Now that number is up to 48% for Kamala Harris versus the 40% or so who see Trump as too conservative. The bottom line is Harris may be a little bit too out of the mainstream, at least compared to Donald Trump when we're talking ideologically speaking.
Look at the trends. They are pointing in a direction when it comes to independence.
I don't like you, John. I like Harry. I don't like John. Here's the thing, guys. You see it on the screen right there. Harris is perceived as 10 points more far left liberal than Biden is. Meanwhile, Trump, they didn't show you this, but he just said Trump is viewed as 40% too conservative. That gap of 8% is a really, really big, important gap. She's viewed as the extremist candidate outside the norm. That's why all of those clips that showed up of her saying she's going to take the guns on day one, all the things about the border wall, all the things about Medicare, all about everything. It's because she's crazy. You're seeing it. People are perceiving it. That's why you see that number right there. And as I wrap this up, get real emotional with you guys real quick. Over the last, month and a half, 2 months, we've been covering pretty detailed all the different polling and what the trends are uncovering. We've done it with the Latin vote. We've done it with the black vote. We've done it with the union vote. We've done it with the young vote. All of the things that are consistently normal constituencies for the Democrats in very strong numbers are showing up 50% of where Biden was. Add that to the list of what I just showed you with independents. Guys, they're telling you this is the closest election on record. I'm going to be honest. It might not be the closest election on record, but that's completely contingent on you getting out and voting. Everything's going to be linked in the description box below. I can't wait to hear what you guys think, and of course, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and I will see you on the next one.